Welcome to episode 4 of School of Journalism and New Media Studies Literacy Lecture Series. The last 3 episodes we were discussing about media and its relationship with the society, the power dynamics, vertical and horizontal power dynamics. Individuals like common people, they are enjoying more power due to the new advent of social media that we were discussing in the earliest episodes. And the previous one, the episode 3, we were discussing about the basics of media literacy and what are the benefits that brings to the individuals and community and society. Larger interest of society, the informed decision always makes difference. The informed decision can be made with the help of handling the information we have received, and accordingly we take a decision. So that is the main points we have covered so far in the earlier 3 episodes. In the present one, what is the need of media literacy? Why do we need to talk about media literacy? What is the importance of having this kind of series of fortnightly programs like media literacy and the importance and everything there? So in this episode, we will take you through various scenarios and various contexts in which we can understand that what is the importance. Importance is very emergent importance or casual importance. That you can make a difference by going through the scenarios and context in which we are going to discuss about the need for media literacy. So that's the topic of episode number 4. And with the advent of electronic and digital gadgets, we have many outlets within the family or outside the office and all. If you ask simple questions, how many TV sets were in your home? How many computers do we have? How many family members have a cell phone? Definitely you will answer more than one in some of the questions. Computer may be one, but television set may be one, but a mobile phone may be more. Instead of computer, along with the computer might be having a laptop or tablet, and along with the television set you may have a second set. Must be watching YouTube in across all the sets, and there's a convergence of access to all the content through various platforms. And unlike earlier generation, we used to have a tape recorder, newspaper and all. Now everything can be accessed through digital handsets. If you answer these simple questions, you'll come to know that how many handsets, how many digital devices or electronic devices a family is using that. The number is huge number. Of course, it may not be applicable to all the sections of the society, but in general, the numbers are higher, and that leads to more time we are spending with that media outlets. So that's the scenario currently we are living in. And more exposure, what happens? And as you know, the biggest benefit of contemporary India is a population dividend. Our population is younger populations. A large number of people are youth. Young people today live media-saturated lives and spending close to 8 hours, plus or minus 8 hours in a day with the media. Computers, television, handset, tablet, in various ways, individually or collectively. And remember that frequent exposure to manipulated media makes a difference, huge difference in attitude, opinion, and knowledge formation. We discussed in the earlier episode that how we are gathering information and converting into knowledge largely through media information system. So we should get the information accurate, reliable, objective, right? If we are continuously exposed to manipulated media, then our orientation gets changed. And I told you earlier that better society, we have to take informed decisions. So our decisions might be directly or indirectly get influenced through manipulated media content or information content. So that's a serious scenario. And TV and music are the most prevalent form of media content among the youth, generally and among the general audience also. And video games, computer games become second most popular. And reading, newspaper, magazine, books and all becomes third. And just see that how much time we are spending, how much devices we have, and compare that with the normal course of interaction happens in the family. And on an average, 2.5 hours spending time with the parents. So I'm quoting this number from the reliable sources. And 2.5 hours spending with the parents, and 1.5 hours being physically active. All these are average numbers, might go higher, lower, and less than an hour doing homework. This is the rough idea of how a young Indian youth is spending time in a day, in a routine life. And I am again repeating, frequent exposure to manipulated media content leads to different scenario altogether in a personal context or outside context. So remember this point. I'm underscoring again and again. And this is the crucial point that we have discussed many points in the earlier episodes. The 4 pillars. One of the pillars of media literacy is access to media. And today's young adults have unprecedented amount of media in their homes, their bedrooms, and through portable media devices. That increases access equals to increased usage. Increased access means increased usage. And that's one of the reasons why I asked the question in the first slide, how many devices we have. Higher the number of devices, we tend to spend time more. Television 2 hours, switch to mobile, then followed by laptop, then computers, then again television. So that's why you can recollect that close to 6 to 8 hours we are spending time with the media, a huge number in a day. Calculate for 365 days. And throughout our lifetime, how much time we are spending. Actually, compared to parents, siblings, and school and other places, we are spending more time with the media. Out of 24 hours, 8 hours is close to 25% of our time we are spending with the media. In average, I'm saying, might come down. So this is some of the scenario. Television is one of the prominent outlet, though it's the growth is saturated in Indian context, similar in other market also. Television is still the most prominent, dominant form of media for today's youth. Might be accessing through a normal broadcast or DTH or through OTT, but the television format still is a dominant one. Reality shows quite very popular, and how the audience are watching got changed dramatically, and cable and broadcast got different scenarios. Got changed. A lot of changes happened in that scenarios. And digital video recorders are nowhere available nowadays, but rather it's many services, OTT and other platforms. You can watch the video on demand. And the online television shows recorded or live become very popular. So this segment, the television segment, particularly entertainment segment, reality shows become very popular, and a large number of entertainment time is spent in those areas. And this is one of the concerns we have to keep it in mind. And another option is computer. Television, we have seen that computers. Almost every adolescent has used a computer or gone online. And currently the Indian internet penetration is the second highest in the world, close to 93-94% according to the TRI report of 2024. And mobile penetration and internet penetrations at least closer to 80-90% of population, Indian populations are having access. Different gadgets, different internet speeds, different time spent, but they are gone online. Large number. The very fraction of segment is become inaccessible to internet. And on average, outside the home, they spend an hour with online. They spend online for various reasons, for various services. Many services are connected with the mobile and services. So this is another important media component plays a role in our day-to-day life, along with the television. And I'm quoting another interesting information. This is about the children. Children means up to 18 years old, according to the UN conventions, and how much time they're spending with the internet. Children, I'm talking about the children. and 62.6% they are spending time on various activities, 3.5% and 6.5% with the laptop and any other devices, and the own phone is 30%. Largely, they are spending devices to various mode, either through own computer, or own mobile, or parents' computer, or others' mobile or computing. Significant number of time is being spent by the children with the internet. So this is quite interesting information about the children. And their access to social media, that's another crucial. And Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, Snapchat, Twitter or X or any other platform, and become very popular. Snapchat has become more popular. Instagram may be other category that comes under any other. And see the 30, 40%, 20%, 45%, 36% popularity of the different social media accounts among the children. Of course, many social media companies, service providers, they have fixed some legal ceiling. Only above 13 years old can register, create an account. But even then, 13 to 18, that period of younger children are having that much popularity with the social media. And what kind of activity they're doing, what kind of media formats the children are liking, right? And largely they spend time with the chat with either friends, family, or classmates and everything, or music, games. These are the three prominent activities noticed among the children who are spending time with internet and social media. Like a television, entertainment is very popular. Here games are become more popular, and music. Entertainment always leads the media segment in every sphere of media activities. So this is the scenario. I have explained about the scenario of how much exposure we have with the media content. Higher the devices, increase the devices, increase the access. Increase access, we have exposed to a large quantum of content. Content is being generated by various segments. We discussed in the earlier episodes. What is the media literacy? Also, we discussed about the media basically manufacturing the content. It's not created with a very 100% perfection at all. It's loaded with a lot of agenda, loaded with a lot of biases, loaded with the stereotypes. The percentage, the quantum of this loading, the biasness, stereotype might varies from program to program, but we have to be more careful about which segment, which part, which element is biased, stereotyped, and we should not get influenced. How do we do that? So we have to be more aware about those content, those elements. And entertainment particularly, we tend to forget ourselves while watching. Then only we can enjoy the programs. But in that process, unconsciously, many points and beliefs are reinforced. Our ideas are strengthened on that. Consciously, unconsciously, we are succumbed to those whatever the communicator wanted to achieve that. We are doing that. So basically, one of the renowned scholar, we have discussed about the media literacy. Among the 4 points we discussed about the Rennie Hobbs idea also, about the media literacy definitions. I'm quoting again, our students are growing up in the world saturated with the media messages. Our statistics reinforces that. Yet their teachers also, receive little or no training in the skills of analyzing or re-evaluating their messages, many of which make use of language, moving images, music and sound effects. And we are enjoying, but we are not able to analyze the content critically. That is the scenario. That is what we are living here in Indian context and elsewhere also in other countries. And a lot of efforts are being taken by many government agencies or non-governmental, corporate, private entities to create awareness to handle the media and information system very effectively. So this is the scenario. We are growing, we are saturated with the media messages, but still we don't have maybe limited knowledge about handling the media critically. So this is one of the leading scholars' observation about that. So let me quote another person whose definition of media literacy strengthens the need for media literacy, awareness, media literacy, training, exposure to media literacy and all. Many more young people have access to internet and other media than any other generation in history. That's true. And they do not necessarily possess the ethics, intellectual skills, predisposition to critically analyze and evaluate the relationship with those technologies or information they encounter. This is the same point of Rennie Hobbs or David idea of need for media literacy, more or less strengthening each other. Handling eye coordination and ability to multitask are not substitute for critical thinking. And the speed in which the youngsters are typing messages or moving around screens in the games or any other format of browsing in a better skills, that doesn't make that person is digitally literate. Digital media literacy is not that handling the digital devices, technical component of devices, rather how best we are controlling our knowledge system and mind and acceptance level, identification level, critical thinking about critical analyzing the media content. So that's very crucial. That kind of skills and competencies are very limited in the young population. So they are the 2/3 of the population in Indian context. They are the one consist of Indian population part, and majority of them belongs to that category. And there are many more scenarios that strengthens a need for media literacy. Another example is misinformation, and either misinformation in the health sector, misinformation in a political scenario, misinformation in a social scenario. Misinformation, fake news, disinformation has become rampant. And we should not think that become very rampant because of the recent development. No, that's not the case. Human generations historically, we used to expose to a large level of misinformation and disinformations. It's part and parcel of human behavior. What happened in the social media? We're talking about horizontal power dynamics. Individuals got a power. Earlier, in the institutional media system, they filter the information. Gatekeeping. They'll do the gatekeeping, which is allowed, which is not allowed. They filter the news. Largely, they stick to the objective and reliable information. So the quantum of information going to the society, the kind of fake news and misinformation is very limited. And because gatekeeping happens in the institutionalized media system, newspaper, television channel and all. Whereas in the individuals, we are direct connected with the social media. We are typing and posting content directly and anyone can access it. Where that gatekeeping is not happening. So the people, they have different intentions, different agenda, different benefit, different orientation. They'll give information according to their goal. So that rampantness comes to this level of scenario. So rise in misinformation, disinformation, and hate speech. That's quite generally happening in the digital environment. And in civic participation and democracy, it's not that level is happening because individuals, they should think beyond personal interest and family interest to think about community and social interest. That's not happening that much the expected level. So this is a current scenario and not necessarily the misinformation. Media literacy, the training and exposure to media literacy equips the learners, students, youth, general public to critically engage with the media content more efficiently. And the media literacy supports a democratic resilience, and participation in the public life through media is ultimate goal of media literacy. So not necessarily the handling the media effectively or critically analyzing the content effectively. It's not that all the media literacy revolves those points only, but the ultimate goal is to strengthen the democracy through individual participation. That's what the media literacy demands that. This is one of the scenario. And why do we need media literacy? Urgently, what is the need of that? We have given many scenarios. One more scenario is And media literacy, basically, we are recollecting the point of Rini Hobbs: access, analyze, evaluate, create, and act using all communication forms. And the accessing correct information, critically analyzing the information comes from various sources of media outlets, as well as participating in the public communication system effectively, responsibly, and that intersects with the various other social stakeholders, and that enhance the critical, digital, civic, and algorithmic literacies. And media literacy is a very broad umbrella, but that leads to other meta literacies, integration with the various literacies: civic literacy, digital literacy, critical literacy. They all strengthen the individual's ability to handle the media system effectively. And another one is media literacy is not necessarily sufficient to handle the fake news or disinformation. And the media literacy is a very broad, holistic approach that should integrate with the various other major players. Curriculum needs to be integrated properly, and the various subjects needs to integrate the media literacy effectively. For example, the physical sciences, historical developments, cultural aspects. Take any academic subject, and each subject should integrate the media component to handle those subjects very effectively. And we can discuss in detail in a separate episode on that. And media literacy must be situated within the institutional and technological and policy efforts. And media literacy can't be enhancing some individual's capacity. Of course, the ultimate goal is to empower the individuals, but that can happen in a very holistic manner. And institutional arrangements needs to be in place, and technological platforms should support that. The policy frameworks should support that. If you take any country where the successful media literacy campaigns happening, all the three elements are playing a very crucial role. Government must have very clear-cut policy. Media literacy needs to be promoted in multiple levels, including formal, informal, non-formal scenarios. That includes educational intervention. This is a policy framework. And accordingly, school, university, colleges, all the education institutions is ramping up with the curriculum revamping curriculums to incorporate the media literacy component in their educational intervention. Adequate training is being provided to the teachers, institutional managers, and to facilitate the training to the students. That's the easiest way, because if you take the examples across the globe, and ultimately we have to empower the individuals. Taking the training, awareness camp, and the other thing to individuals takes very long time. And the easiest way is to go in a step-step manner. You train the trainers, train the teachers, because anyway teachers are interacting with the media, interacting with the students on a regular basis, on daily basis, on various contexts, various scenarios. You train the teachers. In turn, the teachers train the students. So 10 teachers, if you train them in a short period of time about media literacy, they'll be able to handle at least 40 students, means 400 students can be handled in a short span of time. Reaching out to 400 people directly about the media literacy campaign takes very long time. But the teachers, they'll be in the service for a longer time. Year to year, every year, they're going to train more number of students, more number of youth. So if you take the successful media campaigns across the globe, this is what happening there. Curriculum intervention, educational intervention, and about media literacy promotion is a more successful format. Train the trainers, teachers, and teachers will train the students. The process happens a month and year continuously. So every generation passes through that, and we are adding the people to the society with some sort of knowledge about media literacy. Of course, media literacy is a lifelong process. It doesn't end with the school curriculum or college curriculum. Lifelong, we tend to learn that. That's what the James Potter's idea about media literacy we discussed in a couple of episodes back. And this is crucial for media literacy intervention, promoting the media literacy in order to address the scenarios and context we discussed about that. And not only that, as I told you in the beginning slides, and frequent exposure to manipulated media content changes media shapes insights, beliefs and behaviors. And large level of our knowledge system about the real world is basically constructed with the help of media and information system. So it shapes our insights, it shapes beliefs, it shapes behaviors. So it's required for us to handle those media in order to have our own informed beliefs and behaviors. And media literacy fosters awareness of influence on societal roles and self-perception. So these are a lot of benefits, and in the whole presentation I'm reinforcing the scenarios, context and the need for media literacy. After the media literacy, what are the benefits comes to the individuals and the society. And literacy cultivates a responsible engagement in both digital and physical communities. And that's one of the requirement of media literacy, participation in the public communication system. And I told you that gatekeeping is not happening in individual level. Of course, then what is the alternative to gatekeeping? Gatekeeping is a mechanism, it's in place in the newspapers and television channels, radio and other places. So they filter out the content, unwanted content, irrelevant content, misinformation content, disinformation content. So that doesn't reach easily to the society. Whereas in individual level, nobody is monitoring, and we have to ourselves monitor what's role we are playing with the public service, public information system. So responsibility is another equivalent term for gatekeeping. And digital citizenship, that requires better responsibility to address the system, address any matter, opinion, content, anything we are delivering to the society, to the global audience through social media account or any other online platform. So that is being strengthened, fine-tuned by the media literacy awareness and everything there. If you look at the historical context of media literacy, when the mass media become very popular in the earlier century, and media literacy confined to the harmful effect of precaution from the harmful content of media. But whereas in the current scenario, with the help of digital media, social media content, we have improved to empowerment, civic agency, participation and engagement, empowerment with the media system for betterment of individuals and the society. So that is the changed scenario of media literacy campaigns. And in case of media intervention happens in any context, there are 5 important points needs to be taken care while introducing media literacy, whatever the context. The youth should be integrated into the media campaigns, and some sort of teacher training needs to be included in the loop, and parental support also required, and policy initiatives, and there must be some evidence comes from the society. So all these is a kind of holistic solution for the media literacy training important for the youth and other important media training and all. But particularly for the recommendation for the future, if they regard to the media literacy training, intervention, awareness, whatever level, and clear-cut policies required from the government level and institution level, we had to have a proper framework for action and engagement. Need for counter speech, action for civic action and reporting, everything needs to be put in place, proper documentation and implementation level. And we have to consolidate the stakeholders, because media literacy can't be achieved by few individual institutions. It has to be a holistic environment. Various stakeholders are playing. So we have to consolidate the stakeholders, and it has to be cross-disciplinary collaboration to integrate sociology, psychology, political science and communication in order to make the media literacy more meaningful for the society and individuals. And lastly, we need to have a evidence-based approach and needs centralized media literacy evaluation body. So these are the broad umbrella of scenario context. I gave a lot of benefits of having a media literacy, how to go about it with the various stakeholders, involvement in the media, promoting the media literacy. Thanks for watching the episode.